The Dassault Rafale stands as a testament to French engineering prowess in military aviation. This highly capable aircraft boasts an impressive array of features designed to dominate the modern battlefield. With its advanced avionics, powerful engines, and versatile weapons systems, the Rafale is a formidable multi-role fighter jet. It can seamlessly transition between air superiority, ground attack, and reconnaissance missions, making it a valuable asset for any air force. The Rafale's delta wing design and canard configuration provide exceptional maneuverability and agility. This allows the aircraft to outmaneuver opponents in close-range dogfights and execute complex aerial maneuvers. Furthermore, its advanced electronic warfare suite and stealth features enhance its survivability in contested airspace. The Rafale can detect and neutralize threats effectively, giving it a significant edge in combat. Beyond its technical capabilities, the Rafale has proven its worth in real-world operations. The French Air Force and Navy have successfully deployed the aircraft in various theaters, including Afghanistan, Libya, and Syria. In these operations, the Rafale has consistently demonstrated its effectiveness in both air-to-air and air-to-ground combat. Its versatility and performance have earned it a reputation as a highly capable and reliable fighter jet. Despite its impressive capabilities and combat record, the Dassault Rafale has not witnessed widespread adoption outside France, particularly among NATO countries. This lack of international success can be attributed to several factors, including historical, political, and financial considerations. Understanding these factors is crucial to comprehending why the Rafale, despite being a technological marvel, has remained a niche aircraft in the global military aviation market. The Dassault Rafale's journey is intricately linked to the development of another European fighter jet, the Eurofighter Typhoon. Both aircraft were conceived around the same time, in the 1980s, to address the evolving needs of European air forces facing the Cold War threat. However, their paths diverged dramatically due to differing national priorities and industrial ambitions. Initially, France participated in the Eurofighter Consortium, a collaborative effort involving Germany, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. This collaboration aimed to develop a single, advanced fighter jet that would meet the requirements of these European powers. However, France, with its independent-minded defense industrial base and commitment to self-reliance, had specific requirements for the aircraft that were not fully aligned with the consortium's vision. France, for instance, sought a carrier-capable aircraft to equip its navy, while the other partners prioritized a land-based fighter. This fundamental difference in operational requirements, coupled with disagreements over work sharing and industrial leadership within the consortium, led to France's withdrawal from the Eurofighter program in 1985. This pivotal decision marked a turning point in European military aviation. France's exit from the Eurofighter project had significant implications for both the Rafale and the future of European defense cooperation. While the remaining Eurofighter partners continued developing their joint aircraft, France embarked on a solitary path, committing substantial resources to develop and produce the Rafale independently. This decision, driven by national pride and a desire for strategic autonomy, came at a cost, as France would now bear the full financial burden of developing and producing a cutting-edge fighter jet without the cost-sharing benefits of a multinational program. France's decision to develop the Rafale independently had significant consequences for the aircraft's weapon systems integration. In the initial years following its introduction, the Rafale was primarily designed to operate with French-made weapons and equipment. This approach, while aligning with France's goal of self-reliance in defense production, created a significant hurdle for its export prospects, particularly among NATO countries. NATO members, with their established logistical chains and standardized equipment, generally favored military hardware that could be easily integrated into their existing systems. The Rafale's initial reliance on French weaponry posed a challenge in this regard. Integrating French-specific weapons into the inventories of other NATO air forces would necessitate significant modifications, logistical adjustments, and potentially costly retraining programs. This integration challenge presented a barrier for potential NATO customers considering the Rafale. While the aircraft itself boasted impressive capabilities, the additional complexities and costs associated with incorporating French weapons into their existing infrastructure made it a less attractive option compared to other fighter jets already compatible with NATO standards. Furthermore, the Rafale's initial weapon systems integration strategy limited its interoperability with other NATO aircraft in joint operations. This lack of seamless integration could potentially hinder coordinated missions and reduce the overall effectiveness of multinational air campaigns. For NATO countries prioritizing interoperability and standardized equipment, the Rafale's initial reliance on French weaponry presented a significant drawback. France's relationship with NATO has been marked by periods of close collaboration and strategic autonomy. After withdrawing from NATO's integrated military command structure in 1966, France rejoined the organization in 2009. This move signaled France's commitment to strengthening its ties with NATO allies and enhancing its role in collective defense. France's return to NATO's integrated command structure had implications for the Rafale's weapons integration. To foster greater interoperability with NATO partners, France made efforts to integrate the Rafale with a wider range of NATO standard weapons and equipment. This included compatibility with commonly used air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground munitions, and communication systems. While these integration efforts enhanced the Rafale's compatibility with NATO systems, it is crucial to note that this process was gradual and came after the aircraft had already been in service for several years. By the time the Rafale could boast a more NATO-compatible profile, other fighter jets, such as the Eurofighter Typhoon, had already gained a foothold in the international market. Moreover, the legacy of the Rafale's initial French-centric integration persisted. While efforts were made to broaden its compatibility, the perception of the Rafale as a French-specific aircraft lingered among some potential customers. This perception, coupled with the established presence of other NATO-favored fighter jets, continued to pose challenges for the Rafale's widespread adoption within the alliance. Acquiring and operating advanced fighter jets like the Dassault Rafale involves substantial financial commitments. The costs associated with military aircraft extend far beyond the initial purchase price, encompassing a wide range of recurring and non-recurring expenditures that must be factored into any procurement decision. Non-recurring costs, as the name suggests, are one-time expenses incurred during the acquisition phase. These costs include research and development, design and development, testing and evaluation, and the initial production run of the aircraft. For sophisticated fighter jets like the Rafale, these non-recurring costs can be astronomical, often spread over several years and involving complex contracts with numerous suppliers. Recurring costs, on the other hand, are ongoing expenses associated with operating and maintaining the aircraft throughout its service life. These costs include fuel, maintenance, spare parts, upgrades, personnel training, and infrastructure support. Recurring costs can accumulate significantly over time, often exceeding the initial purchase price of the aircraft over its operational lifespan. Understanding the balance between recurring and non-recurring costs is crucial when evaluating the affordability of a fighter jet. While a lower purchase price might seem attractive initially, it's essential to consider the long-term operational and maintenance expenses that will inevitably arise. A comprehensive life cycle cost analysis is vital to determine the true cost of ownership for any military aircraft. Section 6. Cost comparisons, Rafale versus the NATO favorites. When comparing the Dassault Rafale's costs with other NATO-favored fighter jets like the Eurofighter Typhoon, F-15 Eagle and F-16 Fighting Falcon, a complex picture emerges. Each aircraft has its own unique cost structure, influenced by factors such as production volume, technological sophistication, and operational requirements. The Rafale, being produced solely by France, has a smaller production run compared to the Eurofighter, a multinational program, or the American F-15 and F-16, which are mass-produced for both domestic and international customers. This limited production volume contributes to a higher unit cost for the Rafale, as the substantial non-recurring costs are distributed among fewer aircraft. In terms of recurring costs, the Rafale is generally considered to have higher operating and maintenance expenses compared to the F-16, a lighter and less technologically complex aircraft. The F-16's widespread adoption and decades-long service have resulted in a robust global supply chain and readily available spare parts, contributing to its lower operating costs. The Eurofighter Typhoon, with its advanced capabilities and multinational production, falls somewhere in between the Rafale and F-16 in terms of costs. Its recurring expenses are generally higher than the F-16, but potentially lower than the Rafale, depending on specific configurations and operational profiles. The F-15 Eagle, particularly its latest iterations, represents a premium option with advanced capabilities but also a higher price tag. Its cost structure reflects its position as a top-tier air superiority fighter designed for high-intensity combat operations. While the F-15's capabilities are undeniable, its higher costs make it less accessible for some NATO countries with more limited defense budgets. Section 7. Beyond capabilities, political and historical factors. While the Dassault Rafale's technical capabilities are undeniable, its limited adoption among NATO nations outside France cannot be attributed solely to cost or integration challenges. Political and historical factors have also played a significant role in shaping procurement decisions within the alliance. NATO, formed in 1949, has historically been heavily influenced by the United States, both militarily and politically. The US, as the leading member of the alliance, has often exerted considerable influence on the defense procurement decisions of other NATO members, particularly during the Cold War. This influence has sometimes manifested in a preference for American-made military hardware, such as the F-15 and F-16, which have been widely adopted by NATO air forces. This preference for American equipment stems from various factors, including the perceived technological edge of US military hardware, the established interoperability between American and NATO systems, and the political considerations of maintaining strong defense ties with the United States. In this context, the Rafale, as a French-made aircraft, faced an uphill battle in penetrating a market where American products often held a competitive advantage. Furthermore, historical procurement decisions within NATO have often created long-term dependencies on specific platforms and supply chains. Many NATO air forces have invested heavily in infrastructure, training, and logistics tailored to support American-made aircraft. Transitioning to a new platform, even one as capable as the Rafale, would require significant investments and potentially disrupt existing operational capabilities, making it a less attractive option for some countries. Section 8. The quest for interoperability, a key consideration for NATO. Interoperability, the ability of military forces from different countries to operate together effectively, is a cornerstone of NATO's collective defense strategy. Achieving seamless interoperability requires common equipment, standardized procedures, and compatible communication systems to ensure that allied forces can fight as a cohesive unit. In the realm of military aviation, interoperability extends beyond simply being able to communicate and share airspace. It encompasses the ability to share logistical support, exchange spare parts, and operate seamlessly with allied aircraft in complex missions. NATO has made significant strides in standardizing equipment and procedures to enhance interoperability within its ranks. The Dassault Rafale, while initially designed primarily for French weapon systems, has undergone efforts to enhance its compatibility with NATO standards. However, the perception of the Rafale as a less interoperable platform compared to its American counterparts has persisted to some extent. This perception, whether entirely accurate or not, has influenced procurement decisions, particularly among NATO members prioritizing seamless integration with existing alliance infrastructure. Moreover, the proliferation of different fighter jet types within NATO can pose interoperability challenges. While efforts are made to ensure basic compatibility, operating a diverse fleet of aircraft with varying maintenance requirements, logistical chains, and training regimes can create complexities in joint operations. Section 9. Conclusion: the Rafale's niche, a powerful fighter with limited appeal. The Dassault Rafale, with its advanced capabilities and combat-proven performance, stands as a testament to French engineering ingenuity. However, its limited adoption among NATO nations outside France highlights the complex interplay of technological, political, historical, and financial factors that influence military procurement decisions. While the Rafale excels in its technical performance, its initial reliance on French-specific weapon systems and its higher cost, compared to some competitors, created barriers to wider adoption within NATO. France's historical approach to defense industrial autonomy, while understandable from a national perspective, sometimes clashed with the alliance's emphasis on standardization and interoperability. Despite these challenges, the Rafale has carved out a niche for itself in the global military aviation market. It has secured export successes in countries such as India, Egypt, and Qatar, demonstrating its appeal to nations seeking a highly capable and combat-proven fighter jet. Furthermore, France's continued efforts to enhance the Rafale's NATO compatibility may yield further export opportunities in the future. In conclusion, the Dassault Rafale's journey highlights that technological superiority alone does not guarantee market success in the complex world of military aviation. Political considerations, historical alliances, cost competitiveness,